Picture this. There's a moment in every relationship where something quietly changes. No argument, no clear mistake, just a feeling that slips in without warning. You sense distance, confusion, a shift you can't explain, and you start asking yourself questions no one ever prepared you for. Was it something I said? Was it something I didn't do? That moment, the one where love feels uncertain, is where most hearts begin to ache, and where understanding becomes more important than answers. If this story felt close to your life, don't be hard on yourself. Most of us were never taught how to love without losing balance, or how to stay grounded when emotions change. Awareness is not about blaming yourself or anyone else. It's about learning, growing, and choosing peace over confusion. Carry this understanding with you, not to fix the past, but to protect your future. Because the right connections don't survive through fear or effort alone. They grow where calm, respect, and emotional clarity exist. You're alone late at night, the room quiet, the noise of the day finally gone, and in that silence, memories begin to surface. Small moments, moments you ignored when they happened. A pause in her voice, a look that lingered a second too long, a sentence that felt harmless but stayed with you. At the time, you told yourself it meant nothing. You told yourself you were overthinking. But now, sitting there with your thoughts, you realize those moments were not accidents. They were signals. You were being tested long before you ever felt loved. No one tells men this. No one warns you that affection can turn into observation, that warmth can quietly become measurement. You thought relationships were built through honesty, effort, and emotional availability. You thought if you showed up fully, if you gave more, if you explained yourself clearly, everything would stay safe. But that belief is where many men lose themselves. Because while you were trying to connect, she was watching how you handled pressure. It starts subtly, almost gently. She pulls back just enough to create uncertainty. She questions something you care about. She challenges a decision you made confidently yesterday. She becomes colder without explanation. And in that moment, something inside you tightens. Your heart speeds up. Your mind starts racing. You want to fix it. You want clarity. You want reassurance that nothing has changed. So you lean in. You explain yourself more than necessary. You soften your room. You soften your boundaries. You try harder to be understood. You give more of yourself, thinking love grows through effort. But deep inside her, a different process is unfolding. Her words may sound emotional, but her brain is analytical. It is scanning one thing only: your emotional stability, your nervous system, your ability to stay grounded when comfort disappears. This is the part that hurts to hear, brother. Every time you lose your center, attraction quietly drains away. Not because you're wrong, not because you're weak as a man, but because attraction is not built on sacrifice. It's built on strength under pressure. She doesn't test you consciously. She doesn't wake up and decide to manipulate you. Her biology does it for her. Evolution wired women to seek emotional leadership, not emotional dependence. Her brain releases dopamine when uncertainty meets calm confidence, when chaos meets control, when tension meets steadiness. So she creates tension. She goes quiet to see if you panic. She challenges you to see if you fold. She withholds warmth to see if you abandon yourself. And the most painful part, you were never supposed to know this was happening. The moment you try to pass the test intentionally, the moment you perform strength instead of embodying it, the test is already failed. You remember it now. The moment she casually mentioned another man, you smiled, but later you brought it up again, trying to understand what she meant. She watched. You remember when she canceled plans and you immediately tried to reschedule, afraid of losing momentum. She watched. You remember when she questioned your direction in life, and instead of standing still in who you were, you defended yourself, explained yourself, justified yourself. She watched. And slowly, almost invisibly, respect began to erode. She didn't stop caring overnight. She didn't suddenly change her heart. What changed was the way she saw you. The emotional gravity shifted. Your center moved from your purpose to her approval. And once that happens, attraction has nowhere to anchor itself. This is where many men feel betrayed. You did what you were taught. You were open. You were emotionally available. You tried to communicate, but modern culture lied to you. It told you love is about endless vulnerability, about prioritizing her emotions above your own stability. It never told you that attraction operates on polarity, not politeness, on strength, not submission, harmony without grounding. F feels safe for a moment, but it doesn't feel alive. And when a woman stops feeling that emotional aliveness from you, irritation replaces admiration. Silence replaces warmth. Distance replaces desire. At that stage, no amount of love can fix it. Love without boundaries feels heavy. Love without self-respect feels suffocating. You may have felt that collapse. The way conversations became strained. The way she seemed annoyed by things she once adored about you. The way you felt smaller around her, like you were slowly disappearing. Not because you became less of a man, but because you gave too much of yourself away. Here's the bitter truth, my friend. A man who abandons his emotional center to keep someone else comfortable eventually loses himself. And when a man loses himself, attraction cannot survive. It needs something solid, something unmoving, something calm in the storm. But this isn't a message of blame, it's a message of awakening. Women test men because they are searching for safety, not the safety of comfort, but the safety of leadership. The kind of safety that comes from a man whose identity does not depend on her mood, a man whose peace cannot be shaken by uncertainty, a man who does not emotionally lean on her to feel whole. When you stop reacting, the tests lose power. When you stop chasing reassurance, uncertainty fades. When you stop performing strength, real strength emerges. Strength is quiet. Confidence does not explain itself. Control does not announce itself. The solution was never manipulation. It was sovereignty. You build a life that does not orbit her emotions. You respond instead of react. You hold boundaries without anger. You speak calmly or you say nothing at all. And if respect disappears completely, you walk away, not to punish, not to prove a point, but because your self-worth no longer negotiates for survival. And something powerful happens when you do this. The tests either stop or she leaves. Either way, you regain yourself, because the goal was never to pass her tests. The goal was to never need to be tested in the first place. Once you understand this, the confusion ends. The fog lifts. You stop blaming yourself for emotional chaos that was never yours to carry. You stop asking why. You stop chasing clarity. You stand still in who you are. And in that stillness, peace returns. Respect follows. And for the first time, you are no longer being examined, because strength no longer needs to be questioned. If this message stayed with you, take a quiet moment and breathe. Not everything you felt was a mistake, and not every loss was your fault. You did the best you could with the understanding you had at the time. Most of us were never taught how to love with balance, how to stay emotionally steady when feelings change, or how to protect our sense of self while still caring deeply. So if parts of this story felt familiar, let that recognition be gentle, not heavy. Carry this awareness forward without bitterness. You don't need to harden your heart to become wiser. You don't need to blame yourself or anyone else to grow. What matters is learning how to remain calm in uncertainty, how to respect your own boundaries, and how to value yourself even when someone else cannot. Love should never require you to disappear, to constantly prove your worth, or to trade your peace for approval. Let this be the point where you choose clarity over confusion, self-respect over fear, and emotional steadiness over chaos. The right people will not need you to lose yourself to keep them. They will meet you where honesty, calm, and mutual respect exist. And even if they don't, you will still have something far more important: yourself, whole, grounded, and at peace.